Good evening, everybody. As a courtesy to your fellow media members, the coaches, and student athletes, please silence your cell phones. Also, a reminder, recording press conference video on cell phones is prohibited. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. We'll have 2 mic runners. Please wait for the microphone to reach you before asking your question. For the sake of time and the quick turnaround tomorrow, we would appreciate your assistance with keeping questions succinct and to the point. Now joining us are members of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, head coach Kevin Schnaw, student athletes Caden Bodine and Cameron Fluke. Coach, we'll begin with an opening statement from you.
If it was going to be easy, there'd be more than one national champion. So at the end of the day, we've got to regroup. We've won 26 in a row, and let's just call it what it is. The odds were not in our favor to go 28-0 and win this national championship. What's eerily similar is in 2016, we lost game 1, 3-0. A left-hand pitcher threw a complete game shutout. Again, we've got to respond, rebound, regroup. We got Jacob Morrison pitching tomorrow. Answer the bell.
We'll open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Cam, outstanding day today on the mound for you. What was working so well against the LSU lineup?
I think everything was working today. I mean, to go through a lineup like that, you kind of have to have everything. So, yeah, I mean, everything was working, trusting what Coach Williams was calling and just pounding the strike zone.
Aired 50 in baseball. Caden, from your perspective back there, something once you got through those first couple innings, maybe with some adrenaline, what did you think was the key for Cameron to kind of settle into that groove there?
I think he just pounded the strike zone and had competitive strikes with his cutter and fastball and really was locating it.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Right here.
Caden, I have to imagine, just given what Jacob has been for you guys this year, you still feel pretty good, as Coach said, going into the next couple of days?
Oh, absolutely. We got our ace on the mound, even though we have a really good three-day starters, and we have utter confidence in them.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Okay, Cameron, Caden, we appreciate your time. At this time, we'll open it up to questions for the Coach. Excuse me.
Coach, obviously you knew what kind of challenge you were up against with Kate Anderson today, and you had him on the ropes some early. I'm just curious for what you wanted to attempt to do against him as far as your game plan and how he was able to succeed from your perspective.
Well, let's just start. We were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. We just weren't able to get that big hit. Tip your hat to him. He's a really good pitcher. There's a reason why he's so successful. He's got multiple pitches that he could go to at any time. And I agree. We got him 25 pitches in the first inning, and we did a great job. But in the 6th, 7th, we had 2 10-pitch innings. So after the 7th, he was at 102. The 8th, he was at 115. They let him go 130, so maybe it didn't matter. But at the end of the day, you got to tip your hat to him. He made some critical pitches when he needed to.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Coach, you mentioned that you had your chances. Is that kind of maybe the reason you get the runners in motion in the 3rd inning? Sebastian Alexander had a really good jump, just kind of slides over the bag there.
Well, again, let's tip our hat to Anderson. We got 1st and 2nd in the 3rd, and I think we put down a solid bunt. And, he's calm, cool, collective, makes a play and gets our lead out. Then we put a bunt down later in the game, give Braswell credit. That's a pressure bunt, and he throws the ball over the top, basically over our base runner's left shoulder to collect an out. Really big play, and then give Braswell credit there in the 9th. He's got to range extremely hard to his glove side and make that play in the 9th. There's a reason why they're in this national championship game. There's a reason why they're fielding over 980. You saw it tonight. I mean, they're very big plays and big situations, and you've got to tip your hat to them.
Ryan McGee, ESPN. Coach, a lot of this job is being a psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever. Do you have to worry about these guys tonight being focused or no?
I don't think so, no. Like I said, we won 26 in a row. We're in a good space. We're in a good place. We lost to a really good team today, to a really good pitcher. And you just got to tip your hat to a guy that, executed some big pitches. And on the other end, you think about their run. We had a Curriel 0-2, and he grinded it out to a 3-2 count, and he drew a walk. And then, their three-hole hitter, Malam, gets a 1-2 base hit. He gets a 2-strike base hit with a runner at second to give them their first and their only run. But ultimately, I thought we played very well. We had runners on. We just weren't able to get that big hit with runners in scoring position. Like I said, we were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position tonight.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Coach, it wasn't just about the LSU pitcher on the mound. Your guy had a very good outing today. What did you see from your point of view, what was working against the LSU lineup, and how do you continue that success moving forward in the finals?
Well, no surprise, Cam Fluke's as good as any pitcher in the entire country. So we were extremely confident walking in this game with him pitching, and he gave us an opportunity to win. And unfortunately, like I said, we weren't able to score. When you don't score a run, it's very difficult to win.
Okay. That'll conclude our press conference. Coach, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you for joining us. Just a couple of reminders before we get going. As a courtesy to your fellow media members, the coaches, and student athletes, please silence your cell phones at this time. Also, a reminder, recording press conference video is prohibited. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conferences. We'll have 2 mic runners. Please wait for the microphone to reach you before asking a question. And again, for the sake of time, we appreciate your assistance with keeping questions succinct and to the point. Now joining us are members of the LSU Tigers, head coach Jay Johnson, student athletes Cade Anderson, and Stephen Milam. Gentlemen, congratulations on your victory. Coach, we'll start with an opening statement from you.
Yeah, great performance tonight by our team, especially Cade. Special performance. Not taking it for granted. That's what we've seen all year. He's the best pitcher in the country, and did it again tonight. That's been on the regular every game 1 of the entire season. So I'm glad he did that tonight, so everybody got to see what we've seen and known for an entire season. Other things that I thought were great in the first inning, Derek Curiel, 0-2, draws the walk. Ethan Fry moves the ball against a very difficult pitcher. Steven gets down to 2 strikes and hits a ball hard and low through the middle of the field. That he's better than that at everybody else in the country. And that's all he needed. You know, a couple other things I'd like to point out is Luis Hernandez behind the plate tonight was spectacular. I mean, this guy was striking out a lot of guys, and some of them were on chase pitches, the blocks, the recovery, the tag, or throw down to first base to not let any weird plays kind of happen. And then Michael Braswell's defense at third base was a difference maker in the game tonight. So good all-around effort by our team, and get ready to go for tomorrow.
We'll now open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Life Scotnick, WorldBaseball.com. Steven, you were 2 for 3 with a walk today off of Fluky, and he had a really great game as well as Cade did. What did you see from him that made you so effective tonight?
Yeah, he made a couple mistakes to me in my at-bats. You know, first at bat, he got 3 heaters, and I was able to get one down and put a good swing on it. And then second at bat, he hung 3 spinners, and I was able to put another good swing on it. And then he walked me the last at bat, but I just saw him well, just stuck to my plan, and was able to execute it.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Question for Cade. The top of the 3rd inning felt like a huge frame in this one tonight. First 2 runners get on base. They lay down a bunt. You make the play, get the out at 3rd. How much time did you guys have to practice PFPs in between the 2 off days and this final series? And, I mean, PFTs are pretty routine at this point, right?
Yeah, I think we've practiced over 10,000 PFPs in our season, so we knew we had the plan for what Coastal was all about, and just to go execute and field your position. Simple as that.
Mike Patterson, Omaha World Herald. Cade, just talk about pitching in the heat tonight, and how badly did you want to finish this game off tonight?
Yeah, I think that's the real benefit in playing in Louisiana. Growing up there, this was honestly not nearly as bad as what it was in the Super Regional, and I mean, yeah, it wasn't even comparable, honestly. And just like Coach Johnson does, he prepares you for every element, and preparation is a key to our success, and it really showed today.
Cade, Scott Rapollet from the Baton Rouge Advocate. Cade, how many times in your life do you think you were throwing in a game or practice something saying this is to win the College World Series, this is to win a game for LSU like this? I mean, how many times did you live this moment before you got the complete game?
Yeah, probably every night, and really just putting my team in a situation to win. And I mean, we got a loaded bullpen now, and that necessarily wasn't to end the College World Series. So we got one more that we're preparing for, and we're gonna go back to the hotel and start preparing for that one as well.
Cade, that was the most walks you had this year, and you hit a couple of guys, both out of character. So how were you able to gather yourself and pitch out of trouble so often?
Yeah, just really focusing on the next pitch, and it wasn't pretty, but got the job done. And just like I said, just putting the team in a situation to win. And sometimes the staff we have is just all you need is one run sometimes, and Coach Johnson prepares us to be one run ready.
Peter Burnett from the Council Bluffs Non-Pro. Question for Steven. That first inning, Coach kind of mentioned it, Derek drawing that walk. What does that do for you, having a hitter ahead of you like that who can draw so many, especially in that circumstance? And then talk me through your at-bat. Down 0-2, swung and missed those first couple, and then lined one up the middle. So kind of talk me through both of those things.
Yeah, Derek getting on base puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And then, my first 2 fastballs I swung at, I feel like I got out of my plan. Got back to my focal point and was just able to put a good swing on it and shorten up. And, that's had it happen to be the difference maker. But I'm just trying to get up there and pass it to the next guy and be a tough out.
Cade, Steven, we appreciate your time. See you guys tomorrow.
Thank y'all.
At this time, we'll open it up to questions for Coach.
Jay, I know you won the game, but I got to ask you about the call on Dickinson when he was called out. It didn't look like you even got to ask a question, much less argue. Can you tell us what that interaction was like?
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as after you're not supposed to go out there after a review. So the umpire was correct, and I know that, and I knew that. I just wanted clarification the ball was clearly in the batter's box. I'm not sure what he was supposed to do. And it's a tough rule where you're rewarding the pitcher for throwing a ball in that case. And I thought he did make attempt to roll, but at that point, my team needs me to stay poised and focused and calm, and as they said, get to the next pitch. And that was that. So you're not allowed to, after a review, you're not allowed to go back out to the umpire.
Harrison Fan, SEC Unfiltered. Coach, talk to me about what you saw from Cade Anderson throughout the game, not just looking back at it, but throughout the game, and just how, he kept getting out of James, and leaving runners stranded for Coastal on base in so many different ways, the defense helping him out along the way, and just the thought process and sending him back out there for the ninth.
Yeah, I think as far as the pitching with traffic, I think I heard Coach Savage say it earlier this week, it's the College World Series. You're going to pitch with runners on base. This is the best teams in the country, and that's one of the best teams in the country. And they do a great job of finding their way on base, and they did a few times tonight. And he told me in the third inning, I just went down to say a little something to him, and he's like, I'll settle in. And I was like, well, nobody knows that better than me. And then he had an outing very similar to this, and I saw some commonalities in that. When we were at Oklahoma, we had a 10-pitch inning in the 7th, and then 2 quick outs, really quick outs, maybe within 3 or 4 pitches within the 8th. And so I felt like they weren't seeing him, felt like they weren't picking him up, and I know the human being, and that's who you want on the mound in the 9th.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Coach, it's very likely that was Cade Anderson's last outing, at least starting the game for LSU. Can you talk about his impact on the program? And also tonight, coming into this game, sub 2 walks hit by pitches per inning. He had 7 tonight, and yet he throws 130 pitches in a complete game.
Yeah, I think that was a lot, so I'll try to go back and sort it out. He's the best pitcher in college baseball. We had the best pitcher on the planet 2 years ago in a similar situation, and I felt like Cade's had a very similar season to that. And that's how you get here. And, I'm really proud of him, and I think the commonality between the two is the person, the character, the toughness, the team-first attitude. And, you're probably right. His next pitch should be for some place in the Washington Nationals organization. It's not close, and they usually draft really well, and he's the best player in the country. There's nobody closer to the major leagues than that right now. But I don't think you can quantify it. Paul Skeens, Joe Burrow, that type of deal.
I don't know what effect it ended up happening, but this afternoon, the way that wind was roaring, did it change your approach to the game or what you told your hitters and outfielders or anything?
For sure.
Were you concerned about it?
I wouldn't say concerned. I would say aware. I think when we showed up for BP, it was obviously going to play in the game, and it was odd. It like switched directions like during batting practice. I don't know if you call it a swirling wind. I was a PE major, and so I leave it to the staff to tell me. They start talking about northeast, southwest. I have no idea what they're talking about, and so I just go, out to left, out to right, in from all directions. We just need to know what the deal is, and you had to pay attention tonight because it actually switched in about the third inning, and it definitely impacted the game. And again, it's just something you can't control, and just try to be alert for it. I thought Derek made 2 really nice plays, and they were in the same inning. I've seen a lot of plays get muffed in left field here because of the sun, both for and against my teams. And then the one running back, I think that Thorndike hit on the screws. Really good plays. And so, yeah, it's just part of the deal. Sounds like it's going to be part of the deal tomorrow as well.
Noah Darling, College Baseball Central. Coach, a little bit trip through the history books here. In 2023, I believe you mentioned the importance of winning Game 1, how you felt that was mandatory for your team to win it all that year. Looking back at 2016, Coach Schnall just mentioned the shutout in Game 1. So walk us through kind of the dynamic of the importance of winning Game 1, as you just did, but also remaining cautious with that lesson in 2016.
Yeah, I think you could look at any 2 out of 3, like any super regional, and they're not over until you win 2. And there's not anybody that doesn't really understand that, at least in our locker room. And we have a different way that we look at things. Caution's not really a word that this group would really use. Focused, determined, task at hand, execution, preparation. It's kind of a little more where our head's at.
Jay, you talked about building your roster to be able to win any kind of game. What's it like winning a 1-0 game? It's never happened for LSU here. Just what's that emotion like?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's not a lot of emotion. Like I don't think that helps you when you're in battle, both as a player and as a coach or decision maker. You're just trying to stay focused on what your team needs. And Fluky, I mean, hats off to him. I mean, I'd heard really good things about him, obviously prepared for him over the last couple of days, and he was better than the reputation, and the reputation was really good. It's hard to imagine that he's probably not a first-round pick next year. I mean, we've seen a lot of good arms this year, and he's right there at the top. I thought our guys battled. Anytime we had a chance for momentum, it was either the next at-bat just didn't go the way we needed it to go to capitalize and create some space in the game. And thankfully, we had the best pitcher in the world, going tonight, and played great defense behind him.
We have time for one more question. Okay, that'll conclude. Oh, sorry.
You talked to Michael Poggi, KLSU Sports. You just talked about the defense. I'd just like to kind of talk about Michael Braswell and just his spectacular defensive abilities. And he has been struggling at the plate, but there's no shortness of him, succeeding on the field.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to impact your team's ability to win the game, other than just hitting. I think when you hand out these line scores or box scores, like it has to do with offense mostly in the first, and that's what grabs the attention. But you're playing one of the best teams in the country. That they don't give you a whole lot. You have to win the game. Like I said, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And his defense, stopped some potential momentum for them tonight. And I'm glad you brought that up. It's one of the first things that I brought up with the team was the 2 strike at bats in the first inning. Luis Hernandez is catching, the outfield play between Derek Stanfield and Jake Brown. And then obviously Michael had a huge impact on the game tonight.
Coach, we appreciate your time. That will conclude our press conference for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you. Whew.